What's up, Comicbook.com? Jim Viscardi there, Brandon
Yo.
Davis here, and we're going to talk about this little movie, Captain America Civil War. I've seen it 3 times now.
I've seen it twice.
It's, I mean,
It is truly epic.
Let's, yeah, you know what?
It is
I feel like I
truly
heard that
epic.
somewhere. No, I am I'm still riding high because my review was quoted on the commercial, so that was really exciting. Oh, look at that. Look at our sweet, super dope backdrop.
Anyway, we're getting down and dirty, and we're talking Cap Civil War. Everything and anything you want to know, we're gonna get into.
And that means spoilers.
Spoilers.
So if you haven't seen it yet, look, Cassie just said, I want to see it so bad.
If you don't want spoilers, run away. Hit the X.
Yeah, we're about to talk spoilers for Civil War. This is your warning as you guys file in. Be aware, we're talking spoilers for Civil War, but we're going to share some opinion with that. We're not just basically going to recap what happened. We're going to share some opinion, and I have so much opinion.
It's true. He's Team Iron Man. I'm Team Cap.
It's such an easy decision.
This is about to get really
It's such an easy decision to be Team Iron Man.
No, man.
Look, I'm about to drop a major spoiler, guys, but how can you be Team Cap when he lied and he knew that who killed Iron Man's parents and he took their side?
Look, it was in his best interest.
No, it wasn't.
It was in his best interest.
No, you can't betray your
It would have
friend
been
like
a
that.
downward spiral. We would have had the Demon in the Bottle storyline much earlier than this, because Tony would have gone down a complete spiral had he had known any earlier than now.
But he would have not been friends with the guy who was friends with who killed his parents.
Yeah, well, but then we get Iron Man as a villain, because all he's going to want to do is get revenge.
Yeah, sort of, but they're probably friends now, which is that's kind of what superheroes do, and not just saving the world, but they deal with these emotional things in ways that we wouldn't. So that's part of their, internal, the way they work is they can handle situations like that. Obviously, Iron Man's reaction
we saw what happens when Tony gets under stress and pressure. He creates Ultron.
Oh God, you know what? Listen.
And then Sokovia happens, and that's why we're in this mess.
Team Iron Man was saying we can help make the rules before the rules are made for us. And
no, that's what Team Cap was saying.
No. Cap didn't want any rules.
Right. He thought
so
the Avengers should make the rules.
Well, he didn't. He
not
a
bunch of nations.
Well, Iron Man thought that we can help with these nations make the rules before the rules are made for us.
But that's you don't get anywhere when you do that.
I think they would have got somewhere. I think eventually, if the Avengers were cooperating, that there would have been, the government would have opened up more. If they, I don't know. We'll never know because we had to find it out, and I don't know if there was a clear winner. I feel like Cap won. Really, it was a pretty clear.
I
winner.
actually thought it was really interesting. Like as far as a fight went, in the same way that Batman vs Superman showed a clear winner, that they show that Cap. The Russos came out and said Captain America, in a fight, would beat Iron Man, which I thought was very interesting.
In this case, I don't think he beats him.
I mean, to be fair, he had help.
It was a handicap match, but aside from just them, my favorite part of this movie was how, not moment, just overall part of the movie was how every character mattered. I mean, you had almost a dozen superheroes. Mm-hmm. You had Sharon Carter. You had Peggy's part.
I thought it was great that they gave Sharon such a bigger role in this movie than they did in Winter Soldier. Like, she was legit one of
mattered. Every single character
VIPs.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the moment where they kissed and then Mackie or Falcon and Bucky are sitting in the back like, ooh, that was awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Cap keeping it.
It's actually really funny when you consider like the VIPs for Team Cap.
Scarlet Witch,
number 1, number 2 were both women.
Scarlet Witch is MVP.
And number 3, even Black Widow.
Yeah, she helped them out.
Like
women love Cap. That's because Tony Stark doesn't treat women with all the utmost respect.
But seriously, without Scarlet Witch, Team Cap would have just.
They would have fallen apart.
She saved their ass.
How many times did she save someone's life at the airport battle?
I mean, to be fair, she was also the cause of,
Sokovia. Well, no, she didn't cause Sokovia. She caused the bomb in the beginning.
Right, the bomb.
So I guess she did get a little redemption. But she was super powerful. She put Vision through the floor.
Like, to China through the floor.
Yeah, I mean, he popped up in Hong Kong and was like, where am I? I've seen this on the internet. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Black Panther was awesome. I mean, the action scene. I think the coolest moment of the entire movie had to be when Bucky kicked the guy off the motorcycle and took it and flipped it around and jumped back on it and went back the way he came.
Yep.
I thought that was like I loved Giant Man. I loved it. I thought that was the coolest, like, just actual moment. Yeah. Aside from, I think, my favorite moment, though, that was the coolest, but my favorite, I think the one that really lasted with me, and I've seen it 3 times, and it hits me hard every time, was when War Machine hit the ground.
Oh, man.
Like, you can actually hear an audible gasp in the theater.
It's one of those things where, like, the movie's going on, you're in the middle of this action scene, it's intense, and then, boom, War Machine gets hit, and everyone is just like, whoa,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's at that moment where, like, the movie always had stakes, but, like, this was as close as they were ever going to get to, you know, short of killing someone off, to give real stakes and show that, like, hey, this shit's not cool.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things too where, like, even in the comic, like, it escalates to a point where even Cap is just like, why are we doing this? Like,
yeah.
what? And then that's in the comic when he turns himself in. But
I really wanted that it wasn't worth it moment.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see that.
I thought, well, you know, it's funny. A lot of people saying, like, oh, this movie was so different from the comics. And, you know, but there were so many moments, like even the moment in the very beginning where you know, that mom meets Tony Stark, and, you know, I mean, that's
straight out. That was
basically
almost,
straight out of the comic. It's a different circumstance.
She didn't spit on
basically
him.
the same thing. She did not spit on him. I was waiting for that. I was like,
waiting for-
whoa.
Yeah, no, but I thought that was awesome.
Turns out Robert Downey Jr. does not want to be spit at.
Yeah, apparently it's probably in his contract. Well, there was a couple moments though that were straight from the comics. The line at the funeral. But there was another moment I remember was straight from the comics. There was the D23 Easter egg. Mm-hmm. We have an Easter egg article on the site if you want to go check it out on Comic Book. But I liked how, because if you don't know what D23 is, it's Disney's Comic-Con. You know, it's an all Disney version of Comic-Con that happens every other year in Anaheim. And they didn't go to Comic-Con last year. They went to D23 instead, their own thing. Marvel did. And when Bucky was being held, the thing said D23 on the holdings, the glass thing. So I thought that was a cool little fun Easter egg for people who knew that.
Is it, you know, who's a totally underrated character in this movie? Hawkeye.
It's just Jeremy Renner in a Hawkeye suit.
I loved every moment. I loved every line that Jeremy Renner had. It was absolutely spot on for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
It was...
It's because the Russos know characters better than anybody who's taken a Marvel movie before.
There was no wasted moment, no wasted line.
Yeah.
He just nailed it.
Spider-Man, we can't not talk about Spider-Man.
How did it take this long for us as a society to find Tom Holland and make him Spider-Man?
Yeah,
he is legitimately...
Like, he thinks he's actually Spider-Man, I think.
I mean, watching his parkour videos on his Instagram make me... I'm just like, this kid's been born...
Did you hear about...
He was probably bit by a radioactive spider as a child, and that is why we have him as Spider-Man.
They said that... I don't remember where I read this. We wrote it up. It came from somewhere. That Tom Holland wanted to actually flip into that scene where he says, "Hey, everybody." The executives were like, "No, we don't. That's insurance." But he literally,
and that's it.
Yeah, but he wanted to do that. I mean, you mentioned, he does those Instagram videos and all those parkour stuff where he's actually thinking he's like legitimately Spider-Man. So I wonder when Homecoming comes around if he'll like actually.
It's just so crazy too, where it's just like. Every aspect that you think of both Peter Parker and the Spider-Man, he nails. He gets the. I mean, you know, I know he's not writing the jokes, but he nails the delivery of the quotes. He nails just sort of that, like him as Peter Parker, just sort of like that dumbfounded innocence, which is just, you know, at the core of what Peter Parker is.
The scene with Downey and Marissa Tomei was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I love that this Peter Parker is sort of a dumpster diver, right? Like, he's young enough where he's building his own computers. Yeah. He's taking parts that he finds.
That computer was from like 1975.
That was probably an Apple II.
Facebook doesn't even work on that thing.
Nuts.
Someone asked, I think it was Ishmael asked us, what was your biggest surprise from the whole movie? Mine was when War Machine hit the ground. I thought somebody was going to catch him. I really thought somebody was going to catch War Machine. And it was going to be happily ever after until the next fight, which just seems to be like Marvel doesn't have moments like that in a lot of movies that have like that. There's always a way out. It seems like there's more often than not they find a way out without that kind of collateral damage. But they let War Machine smack into the ground, and then at that moment where Falcon says I'm sorry and Tony just blasts him away with the repulsor, I thought that was my biggest surprise.
I don't know, I think I had two. I did not see Zemo killing all of the Winter Soldiers.
Yeah,
coming. I thought that was a nice surprise, and I knew it when the scenes were leading up to it, but Winter Soldier killing Iron Man's parents, to me, I was like, oh, snap.
A couple of friends of mine were like, oh, I saw that coming in the first scene, and I was like, no, you didn't.
I didn't see that coming.
I could have watched every Iron Man movie before this, leading up to it, and I don't think I would have.
I saw online a pretty good analysis where in Winter Soldier, when Arnim Zola is talking to Cap and Black Widow, where he basically says like Hydra's been operating for hundreds of years, and something along the lines of like Cap's like Black Widow says something along the lines of no, we would know, and she'd be like there'd be some surprises. I think I read somewhere where someone basically connected that point to when Cap finds out that Bucky killed Iron Man's parents, which I thought was interesting. I have to rewatch it just to.
In any
see
case,
where,
he should have told Tony.
Yeah, well,
he should have told Tony. That's not a secret you keep. That's some serious best friend betrayal. Like that's somebody you save the world with. You gotta tell him.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought Giant Man was a good surprise.
Yes. Well, I loved
what did we think of
those growth discs that
Andy is not into MILF Aunt May.
Oh.
He says he's not into MILF Aunt May. I'm into MILF Aunt May.
Look, ants come in all shapes and sizes.
In all shapes and sizes. Yeah, that settles that. King T'Chaka died. Yeah.
Dude, all of the Black Panther setup in this movie was absolutely top notch.
And that goes back to what I said in the beginning. If you're just joining, one of my favorite overarching part of this movie, was that every character mattered. I mean, this was very much Black Panther's origin story. And I mean, we're going to get further into it when the movie rolls around, and I wonder if Bucky's going to be a part of that.
Well, it's funny. Major spoiler territory here. In the mid-credits sequence when they're in Wakanda and they pan and you see that Black Panther statue, it looked like the Black Panther statue that was in front of the North Carolina Panther Stadium. So it's one of those things where we're probably going to have to send someone an email and ask if like that's actually the case, if it wasn't totally CG. But if you look at that and then Google an image of the Carolina Panther Stadium and the Panther that sits outside it, you're going to be like, oh,
almost looks
snap,
like the Nittany
Lion.
It almost looked like the Nittany Lion up at State College, Pennsylvania. Someone said, do we think Aunt May and Tony Stark could be a thing in Homecoming? I don't think so.
Oh, God, no.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't ship that.
Nope.
I do not ship that.
Not shipping that at all. You know what we haven't really talked about other than getting his ass handed to him? The Vision.
Dude.
Ever since Age of Ultron, Vision has been one of my favorite characters in the MCU. There's something about Paul Bettany's approach to him and the character himself where it's just like...
I love that line.
It's almost like having an overgrown infant that is all too powerful.
Well, he was born yesterday.
He was born yesterday.
That's my favorite line. When he says that right before he destroys Ultron, he says, well, he was born yesterday. I love that line. And I like Paul Bettany.
It was cool to see, like... them play a potential relationship thing.
And that's why he ended up hitting War Machine with his
zing,
his soul stone, his mind gem, power.
Or stone. There's stones in the MCU. Gems in the comics.
I'm looking forward to. I can't wait for new one. As we've only said good things, to say something maybe that's not a good thing.
I thought this movie was 15 minutes too long.
No, I didn't think. I never wanted it to end, but I thought that Zemo got overlooked.
Yes.
And not that he was a bad villain, because I know that's another common complaint with Marvel movies is that the villains suck or whatever. The villains aren't powerful enough, or the villains do something stupid. I thought that every time Zemo was... I don't think it's Zemo and the writing of Zemo's fault. I think it's just that the conflict between the characters that we know was so strong and believable that every time I found Zemo on the screen... I wanted to know what was going on somewhere else. I wanted to be taken back to Cap and Iron Man and whatever they were doing and however they were moving their feud. And like that scene where Zemo was torturing that guy, and like that was pretty brutal too. When he drowned him upside down in his own sink, that was pretty nuts. I mean, that's you guys want to see. You say Marvel movies are not dark enough. You want, Batman vs Superman style dark. I thought this was by far the darkest Marvel movie yet. I mean, this dealt with real emotional issues: parents getting killed, betrayal, torturing someone while they're upside down hanging in the sink. And I thought Zemo was like the most ruthless villain so far, maybe besides Whiplash and Iron Man 2, who just turned out to be crap, though.
Yeah. Well, no, I think the thing with Zemo is he had really strong emotional beats. But it's one of those things where I kind of wanted to see him unleash those Winter Soldiers and,
see them all take
them on. But I get why I guess they couldn't do that. But still, it's one of those things where, I mean, maybe it's because I just had a kid, and if my family died the way his family died, it would probably drive me nuts.
Maybe.
And so I connected a lot with that. In the sense that, like, here's a guy. I mean, it's sort of Punisher.
What separates him from the Punisher is what I was going to say.
Right.
Is how he went about his revenge.
He's German.
Well, he's German, so he's out for the Nazi scheme, I guess. Hail Hydra over there. But I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think they could have done a lot. They could have done him more service by either making him more of a menacing role in the film,
more of a hands-on villain.
Yeah,
he was very Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
It was very similar to Lex Luthor in Batman vs Superman. I think the movie as a whole was very similar to Batman vs Superman. But these characters are characters. I mean, and I know a lot of people who are on Comicbook.com have seen every Marvel Studios film to date. You know what I mean? So
13 of them.
Yeah, and I've seen every single one of them more than once. Mm-hmm. So I know these characters very well. Yep. Like, regardless of how they are in the comics and how many comics I or you have read, I know the characters that are in this movie. I didn't know Batman that was in Batman vs. Superman. Like, sure, I read The Dark Knight Returns, I've read Batman comics, but it's still, that's not the same character. You know what I mean? So it's like you're more attached, I think you're more attached to the characters in Civil War, and that's why it resonated emotionally much more than Batman vs Superman did. That's my thought.
Yeah, no, I think it's. You're right. We just got to spend a lot more time with these actors, and we've got to see them grow into the characters that they are now. And with Batman vs Superman, it was Henry Cavill's only second time out as Superman, Ben Affleck's first time out as Batman, and so but I mean, at the same point, if you look way back, and even with some of the early movies in the MCU, like if we saw those movies today, would we have the same reaction to them?
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true. Somebody, Shannon Koppel said, "Who was your favorite character?"
My favorite character. It's really tough because I really liked Hawkeye. I really, really liked Hawkeye. Yeah. I think I liked a lot of the minor characters. I loved all the Hawkeye moments. I loved all the Ant-Man moments.
Vision,
I loved the Vision and Scarlet Witch moments. I think
for me it's Black Panther. I love Spider-Man, and I think I can't say Spider-Man's my favorite. I think he's just new and they got him right, so I'm excited about that. Right. But I feel like Black Panther had the biggest arc in the movie. I feel like he started out as a revenge-hungry, hasty guy who ended up being being all diplomatic like his father wanted, and seeking justice for Zemo instead of killing him or letting him die.
Totally.
So I feel like that was definitely the biggest arc for any character. How about Marissa Tomei as Aunt May? I loved it. Said somebody up there, she was great. Chad likes Batman vs Superman more. Hey, that's great. You know what?
A lot of people did.
Yeah, I mean that's what's great about 2016 is we have how many comic book movies to choose from. And
if you're on Comicbook.com right now, you can check out our review of X-Men Apocalypse.
Yep.
That's up now. We haven't seen the movie yet, but Lucas did, and so you can go read his review, and he loved it.
Yeah.
So if you want to go get your first reaction on X-Men Apocalypse, head on over to Comicbook.com. We've got Suicide Squad later this summer. We've got Doctor Strange coming out. So
Doctor Strange, and Michael Giacchino scoring Doctor Strange.
I know, and we're just getting started.
I'm so excited.
Right? Like you see him on the internet. There's movies coming out till 2020. We're going to be doing this time and time and time again, and it's going to be amazing.
I'm so excited about it. I think Doctor Strange is going to be epic. That trailer looked like Inception. Just
Marvel's
like
Inception.
Marvel threw up on Inception. Like it's gonna be awesome. Nice. That's gonna be so cool. Well, I think that's good. I mean, I think we covered pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. I like the setup for the future. I love the movie itself.
Yeah, I know Kevin Feige's come out and said this, but I think this movie and even Winter Soldier is proof that we need a Black Widow movie sooner rather than later.
I don't know. I'm for it. I just don't know where it fits. Like, what mission are they going to send her on? What story? Do you think they could do a Black Widow movie with just her, without any other heroes in there? Like,
I would love to see how she and Fury first connected.
Like a prequel Black Widow series. That would be sweet. That would be pretty cool. That
done in the style of like a
Budapest, like the explain the Budapest
exactly,
reference.
Budapest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm into that. I'm game for it. That's it. I'm sold. That was tough.
Easy.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching. At Jim Viscardi on Twitter, at Brandon Davis PD. But the one you need to know is at Comic Book. Make sure you hit the little subscribe button when we go live
really
again.
Figure out which side it's on.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, I go like, well, did I get flips? And I don't know. All right, guys. But anyway, thanks for watching.
We'll see you later.
Civil War's playing now. If you haven't seen it yet and you just sat through this review, what? Anyway, all right. Bye.